funny story. I had my very first debut, first time ever being in the WWE back in 1998, I believe. So it was like my first year basically in the business. And somebody that I knew in the business, we traveled to a pay-per-view. They were friends with Terry Taylor. So Terry was with the company at the time. Invited us to the pay-per-view. We were backstage. The next night we went to Monday Night Raw, and back then it was different. You had extra talent come to the building, but it's not like it is today, where they kind of have to dress off in a different place and you don't really see them unless they're needed. We just kind of hung out, and on Monday we were backstage at Raw, and Sergeant Slaughter was kind of in charge of all the extra matches, the dark matches and the enhancement matches, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
So I was one of the guys just kind of hanging around, and I remember Perry Saturn had a match. Yeah, Perry was with Terry Reynolds, and they were just kind of getting started, I believe, around that time, and they had a match on, I want to say it was Sunday Night Heat back then.
Which just blew my mind, because I'm like, well, you said 98. I wasn't
98,
there yet.
Yeah. So Sunday Night Heat, and Perry needed an opponent for an enhancement match. It was a quick, 5-minute match, and I think Terry must have mentioned something to Sarge, and Sarge came up to me and was like, "Yeah, we need you to work with Perry tonight." And I was like, "Whoa, okay, here we go." And I went out there and actually, had a fairly decent match with Perry, and that was 98. So from 98 to 2004, I probably showed up at WWE TVs, I'm going to say at least a dozen, if not more times, just to network and show my face and show them that this is where I wanted to be.
When I was sitting there doing research on you, because obviously I don't know everybody's story by heart, right? So I'm sitting there doing that, and I'm like, wait, Sunday Night Heat? Wait, Velocity? Wait, what?
I did them all. I did them all, yeah.
And I was here during that time, and it's insane when I saw a video of you with Billy Kidman, and I'm going, this is crazy, because I thought the first time you ever stepped into WWE was now, after NXT.
No, geez. It was funny, last week at catering, I was sitting in catering, and I walk in, and Dolph Ziggler and Kurt Hawkins and Tyler Breeze were sitting at a table, and I walk over, and they look at me, and they're watching a Velocity match between myself and Matt Bloom, who back then was Prince Albert.
Yes.
Or one of his many gimmicks. But Matt Bloom, of course, the head trainer at the PC, and one of the major reasons why I got my start back here in WWE now. And I actually totally forgot about the match. It was such a long time ago that I totally kind of forgot about it. So I had many matches, many tag matches. I remember, I can think off the top of my head, I had a tag match against, actually it was against Prince Albert and Rhino on Velocity. I had another match I totally forgot about. I guess I wrestled a tag match against Dean Malenko that I don't remember. Dean reminded me of that when I got called up to the main roster. And so, I mean, many matches, a lot of dark matches that never made air either. One match I remember pretty vividly, actually, it was against Chuck Palumbo.
Oh, I remember Chuck.
Yeah, Chuck was a great guy. And,
such a great guy.
He, so, funny story, I'll tell you. So,
please tell me.
Again, trying to get a job here. So I live in Toronto, and they had television. Monday Night Raw was in Calgary, and I want to say SmackDown the next night was in Kelowna, BC. So I contacted, I believe it was Tom Pritchard at the time that was taking care of the extra bookings, the outside guys, the non-contract guys, to come in to be enhancement talent. So I asked him if I'd be okay if I went to Calgary. I had a friend that was living in Calgary playing pro lacrosse out there.
Yeah.
So it was kind of like a little vacation for me, but a chance to come and show my face again. So I flew myself out to Calgary. And in relation to, so to put it into geography-wise, it's about a 3.5-hour flight. So you couldn't drive it. So it was a flight. Flew there, went to Monday Night Raw. I wasn't booked, so I just kind of hung out. And it was about 5:45, 6 o'clock. And again, Sergeant Slaughter comes up to me and he goes, Chuck Palumbo needs a match tonight. He has a dark match and his opponent left.
Oh.
So he's like, Chuck wants to work with you. He's seen you work before and he wants to have a match with you. So I went and had the match. And it came back to the back. Nobody really said anything. Chuck was happy with it. I thought it went very well. But nobody said a word to me, so it very odd. So
Yeah,
most times people will say like, "Hey, good job,"
Right.
or you know, but it was like dead silence. It was just like nobody really said anything. So I get back to my buddy's place after, and the next day I'm supposed to drive to Kelowna, which is like 6.5 hours to drive.
Wow.
So I'm thinking, like, do I even bother going to SmackDown at this point? Like, I'm thinking, like, I wasn't booked. I just happened to have a match with Chuck. Do I really need to get up at 4 a.m. and drive there to get there for the noon hour call time? But I did. I'm glad I did. So I walk in, and I was like one of the first ones there, and I'm walking in the back, and I'm just kind of walking around the building, and who comes up to me in the hallway is Vince McMahon.
Wow.
So I see Vince, and this is like the very first interaction I've ever had with him. And he comes up to me and he goes, "Hey, great job last night. I really liked the way that you sold during the match." And I can remember it. I was like, the only thing I said was, "Oh, thank you very much.
Yeah.
You know, I hope I get the opportunity again." Walks off. And then Sarge comes up to me later in the day and he said, "During your match last night, Vince came over the headset and asked who you were. So we're going to have you in another match tonight." Long story short, went out there, had another match. The match, I'm not going to say who it was against, wasn't as good as Chuck Palumbo. So it didn't go very well. So that was 2002, maybe 2003. But that's just like, again, showing up, trying to be noticed, trying to be seen. And I didn't quit. I mean,
Right.
it kind of knocked me down a notch, but in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, well, Vince saw me, you know, maybe the next time I'll go there, he'll remember me. And
Yeah.
so I kept going and going and going. And then, 2004 rolled around, and, it was multiple times showing up to WWE and kind of getting turned down, being told to, change your look, do this, wear different gear, whatever it was.
Yeah.
It was always something different. And I always tried to do that, to try to get here and be a full-time WWE superstar. But it didn't pan out back then.